Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. Quick side note, if you're wondering what has happened over the last few weeks, check out the transparency video that I just posted. It will explain what I was going through and why I took the time off. And also, quick update, if you're ever wondering what's going on with the videos on the channel or where I am, I will always put that in the community post, okay? For those of you new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. So with that being said, today we are doing what is one thing Source is fixing for you now. I felt like this was such a beautiful message to come back to, especially after what I was going through. So what better way to drop in with a pick a card and have this as the topic? We're going to be using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle by Kim Krans. And I love that Phoenix just showed up on the bottom of the deck, so I left it. Alright, let's get into your prayer and we will get this underway. Also, with the dice, I just rolled. I wanted to do something different, and so I picked one from each of the categories of the dice. So this doesn't have to do with your zodiac sign, it's just that Scorpio got picked for the first pile. So, but if you pick it because you are a Scorpio, just know that that's fine as well, okay? Oh my gosh, I have missed the smell of incense so much. Alright. My beloved Source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading. Life has been a real challenge this year for many of us. There's so much that we're letting go of, and there's so much that we're renewing in our lives. And change brings with it many, many challenges. And for those of us that are experiencing these challenges right now, I ask that you guide us and bring us into this place of knowing that without change, stagnancy ensues. And that ultimately our goal is to embrace and embody that change, and to know that it's for the highest good of ourselves. But it doesn't make it easy. The idea is simple. So at this point, I ask that you wrap any and all who need it most in your love, in your grace, and in your comfort. And give them reminders that what they're experiencing right now, they're never walking this journey alone. That you're with them every step of the way. And that while it might not seem like it right now, there is a purpose for the things that we're experiencing. That there is a reason that we go through what we go through, because we're ultimately coming back to a more aligned version of ourselves. And that happens in what seems like random ways. But they're not. They're an intricate painting that you are forever creating, as all of our lives swirl and swivel around one another. Remind us always that we're a part of your beautiful landscape, and that you are ensuring that we're going exactly where we need to go, and that at this moment we are exactly where we need to be. Even if it's difficult, we've done nothing wrong to deserve what we're going through, but rather that this is a series of events that is leading us to our most aligned self. As these words are spoken onto this collective and on this reading, so shall they be. Amen, aho, ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved Source. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get this over here. right. Let's see what we got going on. All right, Source. What's one thing you're fixing for my collective? What is one thing that you're fixing for my collective right now? What is one thing that you're fixing for my collective right now? Thank you. What is one thing you're fixing for my collective right now? All right, Source, for pile number 1, what animal, spirit, oracle card will help us better understand the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 1 right now? Okay, thank you. And for pile number 2, Source, what animal, spirit, oracle card will help us better understand the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 2 right now? Thank you. All right, for pile number 3, Source, what animal, spirit, oracle card will help us better understand the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 3 right now? Okay. On the bottom of the deck for collective energy, we've got Cheetah. Don't rush through life. There's no reason to rush to an end result, right? It's so funny. I turn this over and I hear that song. I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, rushing till life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why. Can't be late, having plenty of time, shaking hands with the boss. I can't stop, I'm on a roll and I'm ready to rock. Oh, something along those lines. Anyways, it's like I'm rushing against this clock, but I have time to stop when it's for other people. That's really what I'm getting here. And it's like you're rushing and rushing and rushing and rushing. But everything that you're doing for yourself gets almost like halfway done. And Source is saying that it's time for you to realize that all those things that you're doing for yourself are actually what help you to give to other people. So you're only stopping for other people or people who you deem have importance in your life, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you're only stopping for people who you deem have importance or hold meaning in your life, but you're not stopping for yourself. You're not taking a step back for yourself. Then quickly you're running nowhere fast because you're leaving valuable time on the table when it comes to yourself. You're also putting yourself into stress when you're rushing through certain projects or certain things each and every day. That's what I really feel with this Cheetah energy. So the one thing that Source is fixing for you right now on a collective measure is helping you to slow down. Right? Okay, so we have solar force, action, achievement, masculine energy. The cheetah is the epitome of solar forces at work. The sun doesn't shine onto the cheetah. It shines from inside this great creature and expands outward to brighten the universe. The energy within a cheetah personality is palpable to others, and they naturally attract an audience to bear witness to their remarkable achievements. Purpose and passion are the best fuel for a cheetah's forward motion. If you're lacking in those areas, reconnect to the why before you start running. So we have when in balance, achieves anything, and boundless energy. And when out of balance, impatient, competitive. To bring into balance, reconnect to your purpose. Right? So what is your purpose, and how can you reconnect to that in a way that's going to bring you back into balance? And it's interesting because recently I've been studying positivity psychology, and they talk about getting into the state of flow. And being in the state of flow is when you're really, something is challenging, but it's challenging and it's fun and it holds your attention. So I kind of liken it to Einstein's theory of relativity, right? But there's a couple of things that can happen. You can be so focused that time slows down, or you can be so focused that time speeds up. And maybe you haven't had moments like that recently. And so this is that reminder that when you pour into those passions that you have, or when you pour into those things that you love to do, then you're going to get into that state of flow. And getting into that state of flow is where we as a human is performing at our optimum level. and all thoughts cease, and the only thing that matters is what we're doing in front of us. So it just feels like there's a sense of getting into complete presence with what's going on in yourself and in your life. And it's not about unpacking anything as much as it is really not even distracting. Don't look at this as distracting yourself. It's more or less just getting into that place where creativity, like the creative energy is flowing from within. All right. So with that, for pile number 1, we do have the Scorpio dice for you to choose from. We have the amethyst here for you to choose from. Pile number 2, we have the 5th house here for you to choose from. We have the yellow jasper. And pile number 3, we have Jupiter and this dice for you to choose from. Or we have the red jasper for you to choose from. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. And whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. I will see you there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with Scorpio on it, or if you were drawn to this piece of amethyst, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on one thing that Source is fixing for you now. Do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And with that, we're going to go ahead and hop to it and find out. Source, what is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 1 right now? What would you like them to know? What is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 1? What would you like to share with us today, Source? What is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 1? I'm getting a message to trust the process. That's something that's essential for you at this time. I feel like you have been waiting for something to happen for a very, very long time, and that it just seems like no matter how long you've been on the journey, nothing ever seems to straighten itself out, and there's always something else waiting in the winds for you, or in the wings for you. And Source is saying right now, trust the process. That's something that's coming through really strongly right now. Yeah, so okay, so we've got the 10th house, the sun energy, and Capricorn. Interesting. So this could have to do with your finances, how you make money, something that you're building to make money with. Let me grab my block. And this is something that you're actually blossoming into, and it's been taking a long time because it's teaching you about hard work and discipline. Not that you don't know what that means, but it's just this understanding that working so hard for something that you desire so much, and this reward that comes from it. And so I'm getting this energy that maybe in your life, things have always been fairly easy for you. You've always been able to succeed fairly easily. you've always been able to get to the top of whatever, you know, whether that's school, whether that's at work, whether that's with your friends. You've always been able to rise to the top fairly easy. But there's something here that you've been putting a lot of time and energy and effort towards, and it has your attention. And it's not been easy, and it has broken down a lot of beliefs that you had about yourself, or even like illusions that you had too, you know. Maybe you thought, oh, I'm gonna be able to, and this is just an example that's coming through, like maybe I'm gonna be able to become a manager in 6 months because I've always been able to do that. But this is a job that you really care about, and you finally got like that dream position, and you're like, great, I can move up from here. It's going to be super simple for me to move up. 6 months came and went. You're like, okay, that's usually not how things work. And so you decided to say, okay, in a year, I'm definitely going to be moving up. A year came and went. You're like, okay, maybe in 2 years, I'm going to be moving up. And it's like all this time has gone by, and you've been exactly where you are. And what Source is fixing for you now is actually something that's very internal. It's about how you see yourself. And no, it's not the arrogance of, oh, I'm always going to get what I want, or, you know, like feeling like, I don't know, like I'm getting this energy feeling like I'm being punished because I'm arrogant, and that's not what it is. And you're not arrogant, especially when things have been easy for you. That's not arrogance. It's just expectations that everything's going to be easier. And it's not, because there's something about this particular position that's actually highly rewarding. But if it came to you a lot easier than it is, it wouldn't be as rewarding for you, because there's something that this has to do with your purpose. And if everything was rewarded to you just right away, you would have maybe done exactly what you've done before and just like, oh, okay, I'm moving on to the next thing, or I'm moving on to the next thing, which we have a tendency to do when it comes simple, or when it comes easily to us, instead of us working for it. So what Source is fixing for you now is this idea within where you're not ever going to be fulfilled, and Source is going to show you that you're going to be fulfilled far beyond your wildest dreams. And it doesn't matter what you do or what it is that you want to do. This could be you building a business. This could be you helping people. This could be you volunteering. This could be you cooking, baking, anything like that. It could be anything really, but it's something that you thought was going to be a lot more popular than it is, or a lot more well received than it is, or your ideas. And it wasn't. And it's not that it's not, it's just that there's kind of this period of not stagnancy, because it's moving, but it feels stagnant to you because it's slower than things have happened in the past. So we're going to dig in a little bit more to this and see what it is that Source is really fixing for you. And I feel like it has to come from, like, it's going to come from this place of appreciation for what you have, but also appreciation for the journey that you're on. Because I feel like there's a sense of losing interest in life. When everything was coming easy to you, there was like a loss of interest in life, and almost a sense of boredom. All right, so Source, what is one thing you're fixing for pile number 1 now? What would you like to explain to us? What is one thing you're fixing for pile number 1 now? No longer needing to juggle multiple things either. Like really honing in on what it is that you want. And it's funny because that's that energy, right? It's like you're looking at this position, or you're looking at this idea, or this business you're building, or this thing that you're doing. You're looking at it through a magnifying glass because you see the benefit of it, and you see how beautiful it is, and you're drawn in every time. But it's like you're still scrutinizing it, wondering if I'm missing something, and that's not at all. You're not, but it's because you're holding such a close magnifying glass to it that random fly that it's persistence. You're persistently showing up for it. And it's not that you're not a persistent person in life. That's not what Source is trying to say. It's just this is holding a much greater value for you than other things in life. And so it's given you back this sense of color in your life. Source, what's one thing you're fixing for pile number 1 now? Look at that. Yeah, the Ace of Cups and the Page of Wands. Look at this, a sense of color, right? This is such a deep picture for me. Like every time I see this, there's always so much depth and dimension to this picture for me. And it's something that seems like what people are seeing from the outside, or even what maybe you were seeing, is that life was getting dull for you, but there was so much more to you that needed to almost be drug out. And that's why this is taking so long, because it's helping you to bring out parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. And with the Ace of Cups here, it's something that you love, but it's bringing you back to yourself, right? Again, bringing out parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. I'm finding that balance once again. Source, what is one thing that you're fixing for pile number 1? Okay, thank you. And on the bottom of the deck, yeah, we've got Justice here. Right? This isn't, she's on a house of cards. She's the queen of the house of cards here, right? This is something your whole heart is in. But you see here, look at this spade, and he's attacking this little heart guy, right? And the spade over here, he's attacking the heart guy, this little army guy, or warrior, or whatever you want to call him, infantry, right? It's like your mind has been attacking your heart. Look, I cannot make this up, but he's on top of a fly, and we have the fly that flew in here, and look at the little flies, right? Persistently, you've shown up and you've put 100% of who you are into this, and that's why it feels like nothing is going to come together for you. But Source is trying to show you that you're making a solid foundation, something that you're going to be building on for a very long time, right? And this is going to be a springboard for other situations and circumstances to open up for you, other doors to open up for you. But there's a lot of fear that's been eradicated from you, and that's what Source is trying to fix for you now, is all those fears that maybe you didn't know existed because life seemed to be so easy. And the only way to bring up those fears was to make a challenge for you, but it's a challenge in a way that you keep showing up. Like, oh, I like that it challenges me. I like that it lets me be creative. I like that it allows me to use my mind and that I can follow my heart in this. I love that I can do what I feel is best because that's the only way that it's going to turn out. But then when things don't go exactly the way that you thought that they would the first time around, it gets your wheels going again. And so you're thinking, okay, I want to show up this way. I want to try it this way. I want to do this. But you're always pivoting and you're always growing because you're pivoting. And so what Source is fixing for you now is that lack of self-belief that you maybe didn't know that you had. Or maybe you did know. Maybe this is something you've been fighting with consciously for a while. But I feel like for a lot of you, it's something that you didn't know existed, was this lack of self-belief. Yeah, I'm feeling like it's okay for you to do something that's different. Right? What you're doing now is not something that your family would have expected you to do. It's not something that even you would have expected you to do. It's very unorthodox. And, you know, with the spider here, it's very creative. Right? It's something that's very creative. And it keeps drawing you back for more. But it's also something that, because it's different, that is what has triggered a lot of that internal feelings of doubt, feelings of maybe self-loathing that you didn't know existed. There's this thought, like, everything comes easy to me. Like, why should I hate myself when everything comes easy to me? But these were things that were buried deep, deep, deep down in the subconscious. And the only way to bring them up was through triggers of feeling those emotions again. right? Instead of always being in positive situations, sometimes we have to deal with our triggers, because when we don't deal with our triggers, they become monsters within us. And that's what it is that Source is fixing for you, is these underlying triggers that have been lying dormant for a long, long time, that maybe you didn't know how much they were playing at in your day-to-day and how much they were playing at in your life. And so Source is helping you come back into a place of alignment with your journey, with who you are as a person, with who you are as a spirit, but also in alignment with your path of purpose, with the 10th house here. And overall, it's affecting the way that you're glowing. You're glowing from the inside out, and it's so powerful. And I feel like at times you're not seeing that, because people are talking to you, people are approaching to you, but maybe you've always felt like, well, people have always talked to me, people have always approached me, but there's something different. Is now people are going out of their way. It's almost like they're tripping over themselves to talk to you. It's almost like they're tripping over themselves to just be in your presence. And it's because you're glowing from the inside out, because you're healing without actually realizing that you're healing. It's just simply because you're always willing to pivot. Okay, this isn't working, so let me try this. But you can't not want to do what it is that you're doing. Like, there's no bone in your body that says, I don't want to do this. Even when you felt like throwing in the towel and giving up, you still keep showing up. Right? And that's what it is. So there's a period where right now it's all about aligning with yourself and then letting your light be what brings this home for you. What brings this as success for you. All right, let's see what else comes out. Because it's my first reading back, I'm not going to make this a super long reading. Don't worry, we'll have more coming through for you. But this is really going to be, this is my first working day back since everything happened. And if you're wondering what that is, I posted a video just before this one. It's a transparency video where I talk about it. So we have Aquarius coming out. Yes, I love this. We have originality, philanthropy, and progressive imaginings. This is that 7 of Coins energy. It's different and you're standing out. And maybe at times you felt like it was okay to stand out, but you didn't realize that maybe you were judging yourself internally for standing out too. And now you're letting those thoughts go. You're saying, it's okay for me to stand out. It's okay for me to be seen. It's okay for me to be heard. On the bottom, we've got Virgo, integrity, reverence, and service. Yeah, you have a lot of integrity. And I feel like you're just very, very... It's weird to say, but that's the energy that's almost like you're addicted to what you're doing, but it's not even an addiction. It's just, you know, people might see it as an addiction. They might see it as an obsession, but you're just so passionate about it that you can't help but continue to show up. We've got Rain with purification flipping over here. Yeah, Source showing, I'm purifying your soul. Okay, I'm purifying you from things that you didn't know were underneath the surface at this time. Bringing you to this place of balance, okay? On the bottom, earth fairies, yeah. Fairies with earth magic, reminding you that, look, the light is shining on you, but it's actually the light is shining from within you, okay? Reminding you that nurturing of something, maybe that's why, maybe you don't have many friends, maybe you don't have many people in your corner, maybe you don't have many people who are looking out for you, because you know, it's like you try to get deeper, but they all just want to keep these surface level things. And so you never had to actually nurture something as deeply as you're nurturing this. But you put so much nurturing into this, you're wondering, is it even worth it? And Source is going to surprise you beyond your wildest dreams, right? You're going to be really surprised when things start to come through for you. And Source is just fixing right now this very one-sided energy that's been around you, but also this very shallow viewpoint that maybe you'd been holding, like everything comes easy to me. And it's not that you're shallow, it's just because everything did come easy to you, why would you not believe that, right? And it's not that things are meant to be difficult to you. This is just something that's going to be rewarding for you. And Source needs it to be a reward for you, because when it's a reward for you, you're appreciating it so much more, rather than just following it until maybe you get bored with it, or maybe it just loses its luster because you keep showing up and be like, how would I ever lose interest in what I'm doing right now? But the truth is that if it came easy to you, you would have lost interest in it, because it would have been just the same as everything else. But because it hasn't come easy to you, it's almost like the mountain that you can't conquer, so you keep climbing it, 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 keep climbing it. And every time you fall back down, you get back up and you go up again. And then one day, you know you're going to get to the top of that. And even though the top of the mountain is the same view as hundreds of other mountains that you've climbed, for whatever reason, because this was an unconquerable mountain and you conquered it, the view, there's nothing quite like the view from this mountain. And it doesn't matter how many times you climb that mountain, the view is always just as spectacular as the first time. Whereas the view from all the other mountains that were easy for you, it's okay. Like after the first time, it was no big deal, right? That's what this feels like. On the bottom, yeah, transformation with sea otter. So you're in this process of transforming. You're in this process of transitioning as well. You're becoming something more, or if you want to look at it as unbecoming what you were and embracing who you are, right? It just depends on how you want to look at it. But there's this energy that's around you right now where there's a deep transformation that's happening. And it's something that comes from being so passionate about something, while at the same time that passion not really panning out exactly how you thought it would when you thought it would. Whoa. Okay, so we have solar eclipses literally flew off the table. We've watched doors of opportunity swing open. And isn't it funny, because this picture is dark. Hold on. This picture is dark, and we have the solar eclipse. And when the solar eclipse happens, the sun gets blotted out by the moon. And it's like the light behind it, right? The halo that happens behind it. It's like you don't necessarily see the halo, you just see the darkness. And right now there's the halo that's showing so bright behind you. But as you move beyond this phase of darkness, this phase of feeling maybe depressed or upset or hurt or disconnected, you're going to see just how brilliant you are. And you're going to realize, oh my gosh, like this had to happen this way. There's no other way that it could have happened. Okay. On the bottom, Gemini, change your mind. Yeah. This is exactly that energy that I was feeling. Like if this came easy to you, you would have lost the passion for it and you would have just gone and done something else. Because I feel like there's many times where you've changed your mind in life, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But at what point do you say enough is enough and you choose something because you know this is what's meant for you? And maybe you got into it because at first it was just kind of like that silly, like, oh, haha, I'll give it a try because everything comes easy to me. And then all of a sudden it opened these doors of opportunity for you. And you were like, this is so much more challenging than I expected it to be. And it's so amazing. There's so much depth to it. It's like me. I'm the one that cracked the door open. No one cracks the door open on me, right? And it's like you cracked the door open and you saw it had the depth just like you, and that's what kept you coming back. Confidence. Yeah, it makes you feel good. Doing this makes you feel good. Right? And don't worry, it's all going to pay off. Like, I keep feeling this energy. Don't worry, it's all going to pay off. Everything's going to come together. Come together right now. Over me. Doom, doom, doom. Okay, Beatles. Coming in. The Beatles are coming in. Okay, this is the one that wants to come out. I guess this one does too. Alright, on the bottom. Adversity. Now, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. I cannot make this energy up. There's a lot of energy coming in where it's like, maybe you haven't had as much. And please don't take this as like life hasn't been hard, but maybe when it comes to doing certain things like at school or learning something, you haven't necessarily had the adversity that other people have. And maybe you're seeing other people get successful really easy, or what seems really easy without much effort. And you're like, yeah, that's who I am too. But for whatever reason, this thing has been such a challenge for me. Well, the reason is because it's teaching you that the challenges are such a beautiful part of the journey. And maybe before you didn't recognize what a challenge could do for you because nothing ever seemed challenging. But you've met your match with whatever it is that you're doing right now. You've met your match, and it's helping you grow in a very beautiful way. So we're going to look at the shadow aspect that's coming through. We had demanding come out here. Look, unrealistic expectations, high maintenance, and diva. So you've been demanding so much of yourself in such a short time, and you're not seeing how far you've come, and you're not seeing how much you've grown, and you're not seeing your light. Like, we keep going back to that. You're not seeing your light. You're not seeing the light behind the darkness. You're not seeing how much you're growing. And those unrealistic expectations, I don't feel like you put them on anyone else, but you put them on yourself. And you're so demanding of yourself that you're feeling the brutal, malicious energy of that now. And yet, that's also what's healing for you. And I feel like that's what Source is helping you fix at this time, is that by putting you through all of these, what seem like challenges to you, it's helping you to let go of this demanding energy and saying like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. You're saying like, well, I feel called to do this, and I'm going to go over here and listen to my intuition, and then it calls me over here, and I'm going to go over here and listen to my intuition, and then it calls me back over here, and it's a much easier pace for you. Yeah, and then look, undecided. Choosing, okay, it says choosing between lovers competing for affection, but undecided, that's that changing your mind energy with the Gemini here, right? This is what it has been for you for so many things. And so Source is helping to fix this, helping you to come into a more decisive energy by helping you find such passion with what it is that you're showing up for, but also at the same time helping you to heal this demanding voice that has been running the show for a while within that maybe you weren't aware of. Yeah, responsibility. Okay, Meerkat here, teaching you real responsibility for creating the life that you desire. Pluto, go all in, baby. Yeah, this is a very transformational thing for you. And it's uncomfortable. It feels very uncomfortable here, but it's a rebirth for you. And we've felt that this whole reading. It's talking about how this has been you changing, going in with your heart. Didn't I say that? Going all in with your heart. We've got Pluto, go all in. I love this confirmation. Thank you so much, Source. Don't let the mind win here. Let your heart be the guide for you. Look, anger. Yeah, I'm not surprised that anger came out here. Demanding. That brutal energy. It's definitely taken its toll on you. It's definitely had its fair share of having your attention. And so maybe it's just like, well, why did I even do this? Why did I even put forth all this energy? Why did I even put forth all this effort? You're not yet seeing the pièce de la résistance, right? Like, there's so much more to it. And that's what Source is saying here. So there's clearing out of this anger. There's clearing out of this high expectations of yourself. It's okay to set goals, but expectations are what put us in this energy of always being disappointed. And rather than having expectations of yourself, it's okay to set high goals for yourself. It's okay to set, put a plan in process so that you can achieve those goals, but not to sit here and say like, I have to achieve that, otherwise there's something wrong with me. That's that expectation coming through. So Source is helping you to fix this. The anger that comes with that, the feelings that come with that, that internal voice that's been so mean to you. Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So bringing you back into this space of gratitude. And then we also have freedom. I love this. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. So Source is trying to fix what the anger has created in your life and bring you into this place of being able to embrace life as it comes to you and to free yourself from, I just keep feeling that not so nice voice that's been inside, right? And that oftentimes comes from somebody who's very cruel to us when we were children, and unknowingly to us, our internal voice became that critical voice that was in our lives as a child. And we aren't realizing that that's what we're listening to. And so there might be a lot of anger that has come from past situations that is being brought up as well. And I don't feel like this is something that you're going to be like unpacking as much as it is literally just sitting with it and releasing it at that same time. Okay, so let's take a look at what your card is, and we're going to read this from the book. Oh wow, look at this. We have fire ants. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that fire ants are about being angry. Fire ants, oof, I know we need them, but man, don't get bit. Okay, don't get bit because it hurts. All right, fire ants, what do you got to teach? Pile number 1 here. Look, aggression. The first thing here, aggression. Yeah. So healing this anger, healing that hurt, healing that demanding energy here. Okay. This is what they're fixing. Rigid thinking, following orders. Fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. And isn't that what I was saying this whole reading? Like you're not necessarily aware of this. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or a situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. When in balance, you're thoughtful and disciplined. When out of balance, you tend to argue, have excessive heat, or you might gossip. To bring into balance is solo time and walks at night. Yeah, so this is about Source helping you to fix that anger that has been under the surface within you for some time. You might not be an angry person. You might not be someone who explodes. That might be something that you've left in the past, but maybe you bottled that up, and bottling that up has been leading to this moment of where, while you're pouring into something that's very important to you, that's still flaring up behind or beneath the surface. 1 second, I need a drink. I have the hiccups. Oh, okay. Ay, senor. Okay. So this is what Source is fixing for you now. And it might not seem like a big deal, but this is actually huge for your journey. This is going to help you out so much in the path ahead. Okay? So this is what I see here for you, pile number 1. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little fire emoji down below and say, I choose to temper the flame so that I don't burn myself along this journey, knowing that it is this fire that fuels my internal passion for the life that I desire. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me for you to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second and thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides, all for coming together to give us this incredible message. Just know that you're not alone and you are so deeply loved, pile number 1. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 5th house on it, if you were drawn to this yellow jasper, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on one thing Source is fixing for you now. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for those of you new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it'd mean so much to me if you're to like, comment, and subscribe below. And I totally forgot to say earlier, but if you're new here, we do things a little bit differently around here. So I always suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. So with that, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out. Source, what is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 2 now? What is the one thing you're fixing for pile number 2 now? Would you like them to know? What is the one thing you're fixing for pile number 2 now? It's interesting because I kept getting this message, and they want me to talk about it right now, but I was getting this message of being like lost in the haze, or feeling lost in the illusion, or feeling like stuck in this place of not knowing what's next. And that's something that's coming through really strongly. Just this lost feeling. I'm scared, I'm lost, I'm not seeing clearly, I don't feel like I have enough to do what I need to do, and that is something that's coming through. So we're going to see how this plays a part in the reading, but that is a channel message coming out right away. Okay, so we've got the 11th house, Capricorn energy, and Mars. Interesting. Wanting to build a community. It's been lonely. That's that feeling of distance, right? In the illusion. Like I don't have anybody standing up for me, or I don't have anybody in my circle, or I don't have anybody who's in it for me. And also working hard to really build maybe a community or tribe, or to build a safe space for like-minded people, and feeling like it's not growing the way that it should, or that it's not connecting you with the people that you feel like you need to be connecting with. There might be a lot of competition in this area of whatever it is that you're building, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be making a community of people, but it could be whatever it is that you're in. There's a lot of competition, and you're a self-starter, and you're able to show up for that, and you've been very disciplined. But there's also a lot of blockages here, and I feel like you're clearing them out and not realizing them. And there was a similar message like that in pile number 1. It was a lot different, but it was a similar message as well. Yeah, this could be having to do with your hopes and dreams, your wishes, the future, wanting recognition in, you know, whatever you're doing. It doesn't have to be recognition worldwide. It doesn't have to be on an online community or anything like that. Could just be within your community, or within your friends, or within your family, like wanting recognition and, you know, being able to help others with something. And that could be anything that you want to help them with. But it does feel like you want to help them with something. You're incredibly smart, and you're mastering something, and you've been super persistent at it. But there's also these burdens of pessimism and self-limiting energy, and being rigid and cynical. Fearful is coming through here. Maybe dealing with a very authoritative figure, and that's making you feel like you can't expand or spread your wings and fly. And that's become a huge barrier to you. It's feeling that you're at the whims of this person or this situation because it's so restricting. And that's why, and it's like, I don't want to leave because I like what I do, but there's also feeling like you're in competition either with a person who feels like they have more authority than you, because I don't feel like they do. I feel like that's something that they illusion, like that's an illusion that they are falling into, like, oh, I have more authority than this person, but it's not, like, it doesn't, it feels like they're on the same page as you. You know what I mean? Like, your journeys are just really pretty level. Like, no one's actually above us and no one's below us, right? But this person doesn't see it that way, or this situation doesn't seem like that. Okay? And there's a lot of aggression that's coming through here. I do see you're a self-asserter, and that you're basically living from this place of survival instincts, and you're trying to take lead and be a leader in your life. And maybe you've made some impulsive decisions. Maybe you've done things really rashly, but I do feel like it's because of the situation that's at play here, is that there's somebody here that is creating chaos within, and I feel like Source is trying to fix this for you now. I don't feel like you necessarily have a choice except to go through this, pile number 2. I mean, everybody's always talking about, oh, just get up and leave, just get up and leave, but we never stop to think that there's some situations that that's not possible. Yeah. One random hiccup for you. Confirmation hiccup. That's what Source is saying. Like, right now, there's just not... It's not that there's not opportunity... Wow, okay. It's not that there's not opportunities for you. It's just... There's no option for you to get up and go right now. Yeah, this really feels like there's somebody... Yeah, somebody in your... Wow, let me take a drink. Somebody in your energy or a situation that you're at, and it's creating a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. I feel like going through this, and it's not that you have to put yourself through anything, right? Always listen to your intuition no matter what. But I feel like going through this is actually helping you to gain clarity on who you are and what you do and you don't want in your life. And it's going to bring you into a space of knowing exactly what to do when other people like this show up. Source, what is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 2 now? I have no idea why I have the hiccups. Yeah, the Ten of Swords. One thing you're fixing for pile number 2 right now, Source. Yeah, they're making you stronger. One thing that you're fixing for pile number 2 right now. Thank you. Yeah, we've got the Seven of Wands. Yeah, this is that energy I was feeling like. It's like somebody thinks that they have a right, or this situation thinks that it has a right to treat you the way that they are, that it is, or whatever. It's just like it's a circumstance, or it's a person, or people. Right? And they feel like they're bigger than you. But in reality, they don't recognize your power. And they don't want to recognize your power, because if they were to recognize your power, they would see that they're acting based on their own impulses and they're acting based on their own shortcomings. That they don't want to recognize that, because in their mind, they feel like I have control. They feel like I'm the one that can do whatever I want, right? I'm punishing this person because it's my right to punish this person. And it's no one's right to punish another person. But with the Ten of Swords here, we see that this has been a very difficult situation. You've known this person, or you've been in this situation for a very long time. Like, you thought that this is something that was going to go to the end with you. You thought that this is something that I'm always going to be around. And you're realizing that that's not the way that it was meant to be. It's like basically a stepping stone for you. This is something that you were supposed to do to get to the next level of your journey. And you're doing that, but it's also helping you to deal with a lot of those internal feelings and that rigid thinking that's been there. Let me take another drink of water here. Okay. And it's also teaching you with the Queen of Wands here at the center of your reading. Source is helping to fix the way you set boundaries, to make them very clear. Like, basically, this person or this situation, maybe you've set boundaries in the past and maybe they followed them, maybe they haven't. But I do feel like as time goes by, they keep like poking and pushing to get back over those boundaries to a place that they feel comfortable with, or a place that they know that they're benefiting from you. And Source is saying like this is a situation that you're going through so that we can help you fix your boundaries, so that you know this is not something that I want to invite in again. This is something that I don't want to deal with again. And so it's like being recognized. That totally makes sense here. That wanting the recognition is not to be validated by anybody. It's like, I want recognition that I deserve respect when I set down a boundary. That's exactly what this feels like here. And this is a situation that Source is saying the only way for you to feel like you deserve respect for those boundaries is to begin to respect yourself and respect your own boundaries, and to not let this person or this situation get the better of you. So they could have put you in a competition. They could have put you in this place of thinking like, oh, well, it's you against me, when really it should have been a collaboration. But this person doesn't see it that way. They see you as competition, and they're trying to make this a competition at all costs. And so Source is trying to fix the situation in a way where you begin to see and own your own power, which in turn, look at how small this little guy is right here. Right? By you being able to stand firm in your boundaries and firm in what it is that you want, you make this person realize that they didn't even hold a candle up to you. And that's not a bad thing, right? It's just basically putting them in their place. Hey, you know, if you're not going to respect me, then just remember that that has consequences. It's not about unleashing on them. It's not about lashing out on them or anything like that. It's literally saying, if you're not going to respect my boundaries, then a consequence to that is that you don't get to spend time with me. A consequence to that is that I'm not going to talk to you anymore. A consequence to that is that I'm not going to put forth your work anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, the Two of Cups. This could be a partner. Isn't that interesting? I wondered if that was going to come up because we have the 5th house. I just rolled the dice in before I started the video, and so as they came out, but yours was the 5th house, and the 5th house talks about dating. Excuse me. It also talks about drama, being a leader and all that. So this could be someone that you're dating or someone that you're with in a relationship with the 2 of Cups here. It could be family as well. And there's a lot of drama that this person likes to bring. And they want you to get caught up in their drama, because every time you get caught up in their drama, then you lower your guard for your boundaries, and then they have a way in. They can just slip their toe in the door and they hold it open and they're like, hey, guess what? I'm here. I'm totally stepping all over your boundaries because I can. And that's just what this person does, or that's what this situation has always done. Or they expect so much of everyone else except for themselves. So they expect everyone else to be an upstanding person. They expect everyone else to do whatever they want to do. They expect everyone else to be in this mind frame that they're on top and everyone else is below them. But the minute that someone stands up in their power, they have no idea how to show up, because that's not true to who they are. The truth of who they are is that they're actually very scared that no one is going to see them, and so they treat you that way. They don't recognize you. They don't give you the recognition that you deserve, because that's what their biggest fear is. And that doesn't make it right, but that's what Source is trying to fix for you, is just stepping away from the emotional attachment to the situation, seeing it from a bit, like seeing the bigger picture, but also recognizing that it's okay for you to be firm in your boundaries. Let's see what else comes out for you. What else would you like to tell Pile 2? Yeah, look, you're getting help with this. Angelic support, harmony, and perfect flow, trine. So you're not alone. And you might feel like all of a sudden this person steps over your boundaries. And you might feel like your guides come in, or your angels come in, or Source come in and say, stop. This is what we need to do instead. Or this is where we need to go instead. And when you do that, things work out for you, right? But you could find yourself wanting to be angry or wanting to lash out. And yet, I do feel like your guides are really, really helping you with this. They're really helping you to stay in a place of being connected, being calm, being in that flow. with your intuition. Okay, on the bottom, yeah, Pisces, intimacy, intuition, and compassion. And Pisces energy is connected to Neptune. Neptune talks about being in the haze or being in the illusions, you know, not being able to see through the illusions. And so there's something here that you're not seeing clearly right now because there's like that emotional attachment. But we also see here that you're getting help by listening to your intuition, that your guides are actually coming in through your intuition and giving you those downloads that you need, giving you that direction that you need at this moment. This is a very difficult situation. This feels very difficult. It feels very exhausting and overwhelming. It's almost like when you get away from this situation, the only thing you can do is rest because that's how much energy you put into it. Yeah, blessings. We're bringing you into a very blessed time. So the tables are turning, and the more that you stand and hold true to your boundaries, the easier it will be for you. But also just know that there's going to be an opportunity for you to get out of this situation. Blessings are coming, okay? And I feel like for most of you, that has to do with, I keep feeling this energy of financial support, like being able to go where you need to go or do what you need to do. So this could be you have a relationship where you're dependent on someone else, and then they feel like they have the right to hold that over you. So if they're paying for things, like they could hold that over you. Or if this is like a spouse and you only work part-time, then they feel like they have the right to control the situation because they work full-time. There's like a misaligned belief here because they're not seeing you as a person. They're seeing you as something that they can treat the way that they want to. And that's how they treat you all the time. And you're recognizing that more and more. And so there's something here that's going to shift for you where your angels, your guides, and source are backing you up. And they're going to help bring in, right, that clarity that you need. But they're also going to bring in those blessings that's going to help you find a key to getting away from this. And Judgment talks about airing out family laundry and some like a family secret that's coming to light here. So I do feel like when you're able to move, everything that this person has done is going to come into the light. So if they gossiped about you, or if they said bad things about you behind your back, or if they said that you weren't doing anything, that you weren't going anywhere, everything that they said is going to be on blast because, you know, the truth will set you free. That's really what's coming in here. It's like Source is going to say, okay, fine, keep talking the way you want to talk. I'll let you. But just know, when the moment of judgment comes, there's no running from that. Yeah, this has been a cycle for you. We have hairs and cycle here. And this has been something that you've had to learn how to navigate. And for a time, you learned how to navigate it by making yourself smaller. And now it's learning how to navigate it by being true to yourself. Wow, that's really powerful. All right, Source, what else would you like to tell pile number 2? Whoa, okay, thank you. What else would you like to tell pile number 2? Okay, thank you. On the bottom, look, I can't with you, pile 2. We've got Trine. Things are magically aligning. So this is Source saying, what I'm fixing for you is the situation that you've been in that's been so difficult. This has been a difficult situation. It's weighing on your shoulders. So Source is fixing this for you by bringing you blessings that are going to help you move away from this situation. But the main thing that you need to take away from this is to be solid with your boundaries, with the Queen of Wands here. Standing in your power at all times, knowing, and if you're unable to, not beating yourself up for it, just knowing like, okay, this is where I'm faltering. Is there a pattern where you're faltering? Or is it because of exhaustion? You know, what is it coming from? And then remembering that I'm going to have another chance to do this, and I'm going to show up for that chance. Okay, on the bottom, look at this. Trust. Trust that everything is happening for a reason. Trust that everything is going to work out. Trust that Source is going to come through for you. Yes, I love this. This is really difficult energy. It's really hard to go through something like this. I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this, pile number 2. Look, we've got discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. And no matter what, at the end of the day, you've been disciplined. We've got the Capricorn energy here. So we're seeing that even though this has been a very difficult situation, you're still disciplined. You're still showing up. You're still doing what you need to do. And that's going to be rewarded for you. On the bottom, wow, grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. This has caused a lot of grief in your life as well. I feel like this person or this situation has made you draw away from who you were. And that's part of the grieving process, is I lost that person that I once was. And now you're getting to become the person that you were always destined to be. So you're in the process of grieving that old portion of yourself while still trying to integrate. And the main thing here is it feels like Source is saying, give yourself grace. So maybe that's what the haze is, or looking in, not seeing through the illusion, is not seeing that you are allowed to give yourself grace and to be kind to yourself, even if things aren't exactly what you thought that they would be, or even if things aren't working out exactly as you imagined. You are allowed to be kind to yourself and not become this energy like this person has been in your life. You're persevering here. You're overcoming it. Wow, look at this sneaky snake. Going behind your back, deceitful and swindler. This person, it does feel like, I keep saying it's a person or a situation, but it really feels like a person to me. It really does. It just feels like an energy, a person's energy that's just, this person is they're very guarded with their emotions, and they feel like everybody is against them, and so they make sure that they hurt everybody before they get hurt, and that's just, so they're sneaky, and they do it in very deceptive ways, and then they come and they smile to your face, and they try to act like, oh no, I got your back no matter what, but they really don't. They really don't, and that's so unfortunate, and you deserve to have somebody who has your back, and I'm so sorry that they don't, but just remember, you're being taught how to use your boundaries and to stand in your power right now. Vulnerability. Yeah. This is a very vulnerable time for you. It's not even about being vulnerable. I mean, to be vulnerable with other people, yes, but I feel like this is just a vulnerable time for you. Like I was saying, like when this person leaves or when you're not around this person, you feel like all you need to do is sleep because you're so vulnerable. This person knows you inside and out. They know so much about you, and they use everything against you, and they're putting stuff out there about you that, you know, it's like, I just feel like this person is just airing out your dirty laundry everywhere they go, every chance they get. Anybody who stops to listen to them, they're going to say something bad about you. And it's because this person just they don't have any respect for themselves, and so they definitely have no respect for you. Yeah, but you're being activated right now. This is a part of your initiation with the wind activation here. Okay, and I feel like this is Source clearing it out for you, making things very clear for you, making things very blatant for you so that you begin to stand up in your power. Yeah, secrets. Look at this with links. This person's hiding secrets. And then with number 2, trusting the process. I also feel like this is saying keep things close to your chest right now. Don't let this person in. Don't give them any more fuel. Because this person takes everything that you say and they twist it so they look like the good guy. Opposition. Making compromises. Yeah, this is a very difficult situation. This is a very difficult. And you guys are at odds with one another. Lunar eclipse. Out with the old. But this is getting cleared out for you. Okay, this is something that is getting cleared out for you. You've done the work, and now it's just like when we've cleared out ourselves, we've done the internal work. It's all about Source catching up the outer realm to us. That's what it is, right? And so right now it feels like you're just waiting for the outer realm to catch up to how you feel internally. So the old is definitely getting weeded out. Coming back to this place of sweetness within. Let yourself be seen as that sweet, loving person that you are. Enjoy some sweet things in life. Like, what is it that you really love, and how can you add more of that to your life? The shadow aspect, look, alone. Wow, you feel like you are alone in this situation all by yourself. But it won't be like this for forever. So where this maybe should be a collaboration, didn't I say that earlier? This should have been a collaboration. This should have been you both like getting down together and putting out ideas and coming together to form a stronger foundation together. But they didn't want to do that because they saw it as an opportunity to make themselves look big. And that just made you feel all alone. And that is not a good feeling at all. But Source is saying this is not going to be like this for forever, okay? You've made enough compromises that you don't have to sacrifice yourself here. It's one thing to compromise so that the situation remains at peace, but it's another thing to sacrifice ourselves so that things stay at peace. If you've gone beyond that point of making compromises now to maintain peace, and it's just becoming you sacrificing your peace of mind, your well-being, your health, just so that this person stays in a state of peace, we have gone beyond, and there's no coming back from that. And now it's just to set very solid boundaries with that person. Dragon. Yeah, you do not realize just how powerful you are. Oh my goodness. I love this for you. Let me read this from the book. Let's see, this comes from the ethers. Or spirit, if you will. Alright, Dragony Dragon. What you got for us? Dragon. Seeing one's most true self says, and balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self, behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on his back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. Maybe even just the mention of the dragon stirs the embers of intelligence within you. This is connected to the third chakra, the Manipura. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of the hidden gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. Isn't it interesting that I was talking about how the outer world has to catch up with your inner world? Like, that was coming in so strong. And then there's this confirmation here about that. I absolutely love that confirmation. So this is that confirmation that right now you've done the work. And there's a lot going on in the external realm that is not in alignment with you. But it's important for you to stay in alignment with yourself, because things are going to start shifting for you. And through those shifts, you're going to see just how powerful you are. Yes, you are the sweet soul here on this earth that's meant to bring love. You are not somebody's punching bag. You are not somebody's reason to gossip. You are not somebody's reason to create havoc in your life. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have to see your worth. You have to see your value and say, it's okay for me to be bold in the boundaries that I am making. Because right now you're in kind of like that in between. It's like limbo, where you're waiting for the external world to begin to match harmoniously with the internal world. So you've done the work, pile 2, and this is what Source is fixing. Let Source do their job, right? Because that's something that we can't do. We can't play a part in that, how that works out. We just have to have faith and trust that it's going to work out, right? And you got trust on the bottom of the deck over here. Trust. Okay? So this is what I see here for you. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little dragon emoji down below and say, I glimpse the self that is observing me from within, knowing that I can trust the sensations, the guidance, and the direction that it gives me, and I can surrender to this journey and trust I'm going where I need to go. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very, very powerful message, pile number 2. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the Jupiter on it, or if you were drawn to this red jasper piece, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading. One thing Source is fixing for you now. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. Truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. Should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you are truly new here, we do things a lot different around here. So I just suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out, Source. What is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 3 right now? Source, what is the one thing that you're fixing for pile number 3 right now? What would you like them to know, Source? What is the one thing you're fixing for pile number 3? The thing that was coming up earlier is there's something here you're meant to have. So you're working towards something that you're absolutely meant to have something. That could be success, that could be financial abundance, that could be a family, that could be the love of your life, that could be, you know, whatever it is that you're working towards. It could be having a career, it could be having a business, it could be having, you know, peace, freedom, whatever it is. There's something here that you're working towards that you are for sure meant to have, okay? So we've got the 4th house, we have Aquarius energy and Neptune. Interesting. So there's a lot of healing that's happening right now, okay? There's a lot of healing from things that maybe are oddities on your journey that you're not seeing. So you might be going through a lot of things that just seem so weird. They just don't make sense. There's no way to make it make sense. And it's like, why am I experiencing this? And Source is saying, because you're healing. And that's been a really huge factor for this whole reading. Like, underlying all the piles has been healing. And of course, if you've watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart. That's part of my Purple Heart Club. And just say I made it. I know what that means. I really do appreciate anybody who spends any amount of time with me on these readings. So with that, this feels like Source is showing you that those odd things that are happening are actually helping you to heal something that's beyond your consciousness and the subconscious, right? It's helping you to let go without having to unpack. And we're coming into a period where now we're beginning to heal through joy and through peace and through happiness. And this is a collective shift that's happening where it's not always going to be hardships that we have to heal our past triggers from. Triggers are going to be coming up soon through things that we're experiencing that actually do bring us contentment and joy. And they're going to trigger certain emotions and feelings and beliefs that we'll be able to work through with that happiness backing it. So yes, that is a thing. It will happen if it's not happening yet. But I do feel like right now there's just a lot of weird little oddball things that are happening to you. And that's what Source is saying. Like, these are helping you to heal. It's kind of like shifting from things that are very difficult to things that are just like, okay, that's weird. But if you notice yourself recognizing certain things about yourself, doing some internal reflections, journaling about reflections, then you're going to realize this is all about healing, and you are healing and you are aligning right now. I also feel like you're reconnecting with a deeper sense of your psychic abilities or your intuition here. Trusting that gut feeling above all else. Trusting the downloads that you're receiving. Trusting the guidance that you're receiving. And not letting anyone make you feel weird because of that, right? It's like people who don't listen to their intuition or don't receive psychic downloads. They might think that that is weird that you do, but it's not. It's actually very normal for us to receive them. What is not normal is for us to ignore them, but it has become socially accepted for us to ignore that guidance. Everybody is capable of receiving it. It's just not everybody is open enough to receive it and believe what they're receiving. And so I feel like right now you're being brought into a place where odd things are happening and you are... Okay, so this is what they're showing me. This is so weird. This happened to me the other day. I don't know if you watched the video the transparency video that I posted, but I've been going through a lot the last couple of weeks, and the other day I was driving and I was feeling good. I was feeling much better. I was like, oh, finally I'm on the other side of this. And the whole time I was driving, I was driving, it's like a 40-mile drive that I take to go to the laundromat. You might be like, holy moly, that's a long way to go to the laundromat, but I'm on the island, and so that's the laundromat that I go to. And so anyways, I was driving, and about 20 minutes in, I saw a shoe. And my family was like, hey, there's some shoes mentioned a couple of minutes later. Some shoes over there on the road. Like, people are losing their shoes today or what? I was like, I guess so. Later, I saw another shoe. And then I saw another shoe later on when I was getting closer to my destination. And then on the way back, on the other side of the highway, I saw 3 or 4 shoes. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is not a coincidence. I was like, what's going on? It has something to do with feet. Well, I kept thinking it had to do with the journey, that there's something else that's going to happen. And the next day, my foot started hurting, and it's a part of everything that I've been going through. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. But it was just an odd occurrence, right? Like shoes everywhere. And sometimes even when you're psychic and you have all these gifts, like you're still trying to figure out, what is it telling me? Sometimes it's very clear, but there are times when you're like, I don't know about this, especially when it has to do with yourself. I can't explain that. I can't, but it's like sometimes when it's yourself. And so I feel like that's the type of things that are happening to you. Just weird things like that. Like you're going to hurt your hand, and all of a sudden for a week you see hands everywhere. It's not like, it's out of the ordinary. You're seeing it. Or a certain finger. You're seeing a certain finger all week long. Or you're seeing like fingernails or something like that, and then it happens to you and you're like, oh my gosh, this is weird. And it's like opening you up to your psychic abilities even more. But it's healing. You're also healing at the same time. But it's sometimes the weird things are the things that we remember the most because they're weird for that same reason. And that's why Source does that. It's because those are the things that we're going to hold on to. We're going to remember to look it up. Like, even if you see a number all the time, if you see that number all the time, you might not look it up because you're like, oh, I already know what that means. But there might be a deeper meaning to it. And so Source might start showing you a new pattern that's going to get you the same meaning as well. And that's what that feels like. So right now, what Source is fixing for you is that disconnect that you may have had with the deeper sense of your abilities, your intuition. But also Source is fixing whatever it was that you felt like you couldn't receive. That's going to be changing for you. You're meant to have something here. All right, Source. What are you fixing for pile number 3? Okay. So the 5 of Wands came out in the reverse. This is interesting. I don't take these cards in the reverse, but for it to flip over and flip out in the reverse, it's showing me it wants to be in reverse. We're going to leave this here for just a minute. What? Okay, thank you. What are you fixing for pile number 3, Source? What are you fixing for pile number 3? Whoa, okay. This too many. Okay. I feel like you need one more card, though. I did not do 4 cards for anybody else, but for some reason, I feel like you're... Okay. Take it like this. Yeah, a lot of thought processes here. This is the 9 of Swords. Yeah. And the 3 of Swords. Okay. There's been a lot going on. A lot of feeling disconnected here. Alright, on the bottom. You're the Sun. Interesting. Did I accidentally... Oh my goodness. I put them in the wrong way. Okay, so we have the Sun on the bottom. It was in the reverse. Interesting. And then the Knight of Coins underneath that in the reverse. Let me just check real quick, because I don't ever shuffle these cards. I shuffle them a specific way so that they're all the same direction, like I do my Oracle cards. Okay, yeah, so I just put them in wrong. Okay. So we got the Sun and the Knight of Coins at the bottom. Let's see what this is. The Fool. Okay. Yeah, there's a new beginning here. The 5 of Wands wanting to come out in the reverse. This is interesting energy because it's showing that there's this obstinate refusal to change something. So there's been something that's been happening where it's you didn't want to look deeper into it. You didn't want to change it. Oh, I don't have to change that. Or maybe thinking that it was just the way that it was. And so there was no need to look deeper into it. That's not what I was saying. Like if you see 444 all the time, right? And you already know what that number means, then you're not going to go and look it up because you're like, oh, I already know what Source is telling me. But maybe there's a deeper meaning to it that Source is trying to tell you. And so Source starts showing you a whole new set of numbers. And that's why things are happening all weird right now, because when you're seeing things that you've seen all the time, they've lost their impact on you the way that they did the first time. So like and 444 is just the example here. It could be 333, 222, 888, 1818, whatever it is. There's a certain pattern of numbers that you're seeing, or there's a certain sign that you've been seeing a lot of, and you're not thinking to look it up because it's just like, oh, I already know what that means. But Source has something else that you want to glean from it. And because you're not looking it up, so Source is showing you other things so that you'll go and look it up. And so that's just that emotional ego coming through saying like, oh, well, we've already been down this road, so we know everything. And reminding you to come into this place of being a student always, right? Always having a fresh, open mind with the Fool right next to this. This is always being open to what can potentially happen. Knowing that even if we know it, it doesn't hurt to reiterate that. It doesn't hurt to revisit that and understand it deeper, right? And the candle going out, I'll have to get another one. This is that reminder that there's always new things to learn, and this will help you maintain your passion. But I feel like this is what Source is saying, like you're meant to have something come in very quickly here, but it's easy for you to get into a place of resistance with the 5 of Wands because you're feeling like you don't deserve it with the 3 of Swords and the 9 of Swords here. You're feeling like you don't deserve it, and so you're not seeing the red flags that maybe you're going through. Right? If you're struggling to see your own energy, or if you're struggling to see your own thought process in this, and we see this has to do with the mind, then Source can't come in and help because there's resistance there, rather than saying, okay, I don't really know what's going on, so what is it that you would like to show me today? What is it that you would like to give to me today? And always being open to the potentials, because you never know. Like even the same message can have a completely different meaning. And that's what Source is saying here. And so with the 3 of Swords from the Tarot Marseille, we know it's talking about divine intervention, divine guidance, you know, Source coming in and lending a hand. And so we see that what is Source trying to fix for you is just this reminder to always stay open to the potential so that you can come into this place of seeing things clearly and also enjoying the sweetness of life. This is the work that you've put in, okay, with the Knight of Coins here. Don't let that work go to waste by finding complacency within the mind. Rather, always coming back to this place of, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. There's no way I could know exactly what to happen. Every moment is new. Every moment will bring something new with it. And so it's seeing the world through the eyes of a child. And this will help you open up and also bring in whatever blessings it is that are meant to come to you a lot faster, because you're no longer sitting in this resistance. And so Source is trying to help you fix this resistance by giving you number sequences or signs that are similar to signs that you already know the meanings to or already feel like you've absorbed the meaning for you, and helping you to deepen an understanding with that sign, that synchronicity, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the land, if you will, the land of signs and synchronicity is vast. And that's why one reason I truly love being a tarot card reader is because I could get the same 3 cards in different readings, but they would be different because of the energies that are tied with that. And that's why feeling like, oh, if I see this number all the time, it's telling me the same thing, which you can have a general meaning to that. So like, you know, like 2 being trust the process, 3 being creation and, you know, your angels are with you, 6 being seeing yourself through eyes of love. But the intention behind that can change based on what it is that you're thinking and feeling. And that's what Source is trying to fix for you, is helping you to see that, like, oh, okay, the energy that I'm in right now is actually on this side of the synchronicity, and this has a different meaning. I'm seeing something else with this synchronicity on this side. And so that's what Source is trying to fix for you, is that coming back to your gifts in a way of where you're constantly open to receiving them, rather than getting complacent by saying there's nothing I can learn here, or letting the emotional ego take over and say, oh, we've learned everything there is to learn, we don't need to learn any more. Because in truth, the land of signs and synchronicity is truly infinite. There is no way that anybody on the face of the earth could know, understand, or absorb all of them. We can only do what's best for our journey and absorb what we know as we're going through our journey. It feels like you're growing right now, and you're connecting with a deeper part of your ability to trust the gut instinct, to trust the guidance that you're receiving. And that's what Source is trying to fix for you, because I feel like there's been a portion of time, or recently there's been this feeling of not being as connected. And so Source is really going to come in and start showing you how connected you are. Wow. Let's see what else comes out for you. So I do feel like there's the blessing that's tied to this, though. All right, on the bottom, yeah, we've got yang energy. So sun energy. This has to do with your personality. Also, I feel like you're going to be starting to really help other people, because you're going to be getting intuitive messages and conversations, and you're just going to start talking about it. It's not necessarily going to be something you're aware of. This is going to be something where you're going to help guide others. So we've got yang energy here: Aries, Leo, Sag, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, with proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. We're trying to help you move forward. We're trying to help you reactivate the solar plexus chakra and take action towards that which you desire. It's a slow process. It will always be a slow process, but it's always worth it. Beginner's mindset. I keep hearing that over and over again. It's okay to have a beginner's mindset. Even if you're a master at what you do, you're still technically a beginner. Fairies with earth magic. So you nurtured something, and now it's time for it to nurture you. But the only way for it to nurture you is to show up from that place of wonder. This is different. This is a different reading already. All right. Yeah, news. Raven on the bottom. So you're going to be receiving that, right? The signs and synchronicities, the news. What's on the news feed for today, right? So you're going to be getting news feed information. That sounds so funny. It does, but that's what they're saying. It's like every day you're going to be getting something. Every day you're going to be getting guidance. You're not ever going to feel like, you know, you're going to have to feel like that energy of being disconnected. You're always going to be receiving this guidance, and Source is fixing that. You were never not connected. So there might have just been something that was going on, or again, we were in this place of resistance where it was hard to feel connected because the emotional ego was having rule of the roost. What else would you like to say today, Source? Thank you. On the bottom, Pisces energy. Okay. Tune into your intuition, yeah. So definitely coming up into a very intuitive time. Very connected time is what this feels like. where maybe you were questioning at one point, there's no more questioning it. Things are going to be very clear, and you're going to know exactly what to do for yourself. Ghost. Okay, yeah, this is what I was feeling. You were feeling like your guides ghosted you. You're feeling like Source ghosted you. You're feeling like no one was there for you, right? But it was just a reflection of your emotional ego having its way in the moment. And now you're going to be seeing things a lot differently. You're going to be seeing just how connected you are. You're going to be seeing just how clear things are. So let's see what's coming through here. Self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. And wasn't I saying that, like, you're going to be giving people messages during conversations without realizing you're giving them messages? And it might be something you realize later on, but this is going to be something that at first you're not going to know, like, why you're talking about certain things or what's coming through. You're just going to be like, oh, I feel like I need to talk about this. And you're just going to talk about it. And that's going to help somebody. And they're going to be, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you talked about this. What's a shadow message for this reading, Source, for pile number 3? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of resistance coming in for you, pile 3. I don't know if it's feeling like, oh, that can't be the only reason I feel disconnected. Oh, that can't be the only reason that they haven't been contacting me. Yeah, okay, unpredictable. Never know what they'll do. Unreliable. Live wire. Isn't that interesting? This whole time I've been talking about that. Don't feel like you know everything, or don't feel like you know all your signs and synchronicities mean. It's okay to look into it because you don't know what they could be pointing towards. It's never know what they'll do is coming in. So you've had a lot of unpredictable people and circumstances in your life, and so to feel like Source, or to feel like your guides are being unpredictable right now, that doesn't settle well with you. And they're saying that it's not about unpredictability, it's about giving you the guidance you need in the moment. It's interesting, I picked up the deck, but this was just laying on the table, and I didn't realize that we have mechanical, going through the motions, checked out, and routine. So you've done a lot of routine things, and Source is helping to fix this by giving you that guidance that you need, but also reminding you that this is a trigger for you, that unpredictability, and reminding you that it's okay, because as we work through this trigger, you're going to find peace with it. And in finding peace with it, you're going to see that you were never actually disconnected. What's on the bottom? Teasing. Dangling partial truths, needing answers, and shifting. Yeah, so you're wanting these direct answers and feeling like, well, but I already know the answers to this, so that should be how it is. But Source is saying your energy is always fluctuating, and that's why the signs and synchronicities won't always be the same for each individual thing. That's why it's hard, you know, it's like, oh, well, as a tarot reader, like, all the cards, their meaning might be the same, but it's not about reading the cards, and it's never been about reading the cards. The cards are just the guidance system for the energy. So when a tarot reader is really tapped in, they're able to read the energy that's coming through, and that's why you have cards, and you're like, well, that doesn't really sound like the meaning of that card. Which I don't actually do Rider-Waite-Smith. I do Tarot Marseille, which is a different system altogether. But you might notice that sometimes the meanings that are coming off the cards aren't necessarily the energy that's coming in, but the energy begins to make itself clear as we go through the reading. And that's why, it's because to be a tarot reader is not to be a card reader, it's to be an energy reader. And that's what Source is saying here. For me to even talk about that right now, it's showing it's like you're learning how to read the energy for yourself, not for others, for survival. This is about for yourself. Capricorn, ambition, realism, and methodical steps. Interesting. So it's going to be a process here. And fire, Aries, Leo, Sag, confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. Trying to bring you back to that optimistic place where you feel comfortable with who you are. Nurture yourself with Gaia. Loving yourself, right? With the 4th house here, nurturing energy. Look, we have 43 here with creation and snake. You have a heart of gold, and you're planting roots down and letting your heart be the guidance system for you. But it's just been taking some time to let go of those feelings that maybe were connected with that unpredictability from your past or the wounds from the past as well. Realizing that you are this good, amazing person. And so Source is trying to help you fix the connection that you have with yourself and your abilities. Wow. Retrograde. Reflect, refine, and redo. Yeah. Like, even if you've been doing it for years and years and years, like, it doesn't matter. You could be doing this for 50 years and you can still learn something. Right? So the minute that we say we can't learn anything is the minute that we have given up hope that there's a possibility this is for us. Opposition, make compromises. So a lot of tension, a lot of push and pull energy here. Okay? Pain. Yeah, there's been a lot of pain that's been present here, especially with that unpredictability. It's interesting that that's the only one of your oracle cards that flipped over during the reading, is the unpredictability. And we're talking about coming back to that energy of the obstinate refusal to change, right? I don't want to change. I don't want things to be different. To be different means unpredictable. And to be in that state is a trigger. And this is about you embracing that change is a factor of the journey. It's a part of the journey. It will always be a part of the journey. But that doesn't mean that it has to be unsettling for you, because it reminds you that you can ground yourself in this moment and come back to what you know within internally. Okay, so right now you're healing a lot of pain, a lot of broken hearts, a lot of situations that were very difficult. So right now is all about nurturing yourself and loving yourself so that you can have freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. This is letting go of the expectations from others. So this is what Source is trying to fix for you right now. And so through fixing that, if you will, it's not that you're broken, and it's not what this was all about, but this is all about reminding you that you have the power within to make the decisions and choices that are going to best align with your highest good. Let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. We've got Dragonfly. Yeah, you're emerging as something new. Emerging. There's all these beautiful dragonflies around here. They always come to visit, and I love it. Master of Light. Illusion and the mind, right? Neptune has to do with illusion. Okay? So you've got this, and the sun being the light, and Aquarius with the mind here, right? So there's a lot of mastering these energies within you so that you can come into balance. It says a dragonfly is an ancient and ethereal creature that awakens a sense of wonder and awe. The dragonfly is a symbol of the mind, as it is always moving, shifting, shimmering, and changing. When the dragonfly card appears, it's worth considering the quality of your mind and perception. Are they restless and still, or are they still? Dreamlike or crystal clear? The situation at hand may be different than it appears at first glance. The dragonfly reminds us to calm the mind so the light of wisdom can shine through. Right? So we were talking about that, right? That obstinate refusal to change. Oh, I already know what it's telling me. I already know what it's saying, but Source is trying to show you it's something else. So it says, when in balance, you see clearly, you're joyful and magical. When out of balance, you can't concentrate and you have a busy mind. To bring into balance, focus on your breath. Okay? So this is a very powerful message here showing you. It's a confirmation to what I was feeling this whole reading. It's so weird because it's like this energy of like, I'm not sure. Oh, I already know what that means. I don't need to look that up. I don't need to go and find out what that means. And so Source is saying, like, there's something deeper here for you to figure out. There's something deeper here that's going to lead you to even more clarity, but then not wanting to, because saying, I already know that. And that can, it's just, it's stubbornness, right? That's stubbornness. But stubbornness is, it's good that we know that, right? Because stubbornness is connected to the emotional ego, and that means that that's a healing aspect for us. And so giving ourselves permission to, when those signs resurface, just continue to research them, knowing that there will always be new energy at that time, and that even if we know what it means, there might be something even deeper to it. Okay? Awesome. So this is what I see here for you, pile number 3. If this was your reading, leave the little sun emoji down below and say, I have a student mindset. I always show up knowing that there's something new to learn, even from something I thought I already knew. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that being said, I do want to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming through to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.